Göbektir de. Bir şey yok.
Benim kahvem nereye?
Buna haberin olsun. Bölümlerden götürün mü? İnceleyin.
O zaman şart lazım. Ben şuradan al.
Kahve içiyorum. Şekersiz.
Hi, Catherine Fiankan.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Stratcom Public Forum, A Fairer World is Possible, organized by the Turkish Directorate of Communications. It's a public agency serving under the Office of the President. The purpose of this panel is to contribute to the discussions on achieving a fairer world, as highlighted by Turkey's vision and distraction.
Excellencies, dear guests, thank you for joining us for this panel with the theme, A Fairer World is Possible. This is, I believe, the 20th panel on this theme, organized in different chapters by the Turkish Directorate of Communications. State of the world, it is an exercise, an invitation to discuss problems, observations, and maybe solutions in an open, deliberative process. But for those of you who might not be familiar with it, very briefly, the Turkish position favors, like many others, some wise attitudes to improve our ways of thinking about the world. This requires more reliable ways of thinking about others, that is, friends, rivals, and even adversaries.
In some important ways. Now, paradoxically, however, the same elites continue to believe that they know what is best for other societies in other parts of the world.
Daha adil bir dünya mümkün temasıyla düzenlediğimiz Stratcom Public Forum etkinlik serisinin bir parçası olarak sizleri bu platformda ağırlıyor olmaktan dolayı büyük bir memnuniyet duyuyoruz. Türkiye Cumhuriyeti Cumhurbaşkanlığı İletişim Başkanlığı olarak dünyada adalet, kapsayıcılık ve eşitlik ilkelerine dayalı bir düzenin mümkün olduğuna inanıyor ve bu vizyona kararlılıkla bağlı kalıyoruz. Türkiye'nin uluslararası alandaki bu vizyonu daha geniş kitlelerle buluşturmayı amaçlıyor. Bugün dünya, insanlığı etkileyen küresel sorunların çözümünde önemli bir yol ayrımı. Çok taraflılık ilkesi zemin kaybederken, uluslararası örgütlerin bu sorunlara etkili çözümler bulma kapasitesi ne yazık ki giderek daha fazla sorgulanır hale gelmekte. Birleşmiş Milletler'in meşruiyet ve kapsayıcılık eksiklikleri, barış ve güvenlik sağlama konusundaki temel misyonunu zayıflatmakta.
On the ways in which the international, the multilateral system can be restructured with the participation of our panelists. Professor Bölümü, shall we start with you to discuss the subject?
Yes. Good morning, or I suppose, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I would like to begin by acknowledging and applauding the introduction to this discussion. I'm happy to draw from that inspiring and evocative suggestion about how this kind of conversation can move forward. And I think the humility aspect is an important component, being, and now that I better understand what this panel's objectives are, I can maybe share my own experience with an interventionist, global, international context in Kosovo during the late 1990s, and share what indeed the lack of humility from certain external actors as well as local actors can do to conflict and preserve, curate, and indeed expand the conflict. So maybe I can share it with you from the perspective of a Kosovar Albanian who is the beneficiary of multiple generations, many of whom share a common cultural, spiritual heritage of those from Turkey, from the Middle East, from Central Europe. And those kinds of points have long shaped my own scholarly interest, whether they be theoretical interventions or more kind of more.
Thank you very much. In spring 2019, in reality, a group of 6 international eminent scientists presented the findings of a report that had been worked at for the previous 5 years. That was the impact of a prospective nuclear war on the planet Earth. So they illustrated a fictional case of a group of terrorists storming the Indian parliament, killing an assortment of eminent Indian parliamentarians, among whom there were some ministers. Then the Indian government makes the government of Pakistan responsible for this attack, decided to strike Pakistan with nuclear warhead. 5 million people die, Pakistan reacts, 15 million people die, and a nuclear war is triggered. Now, the interesting thing is that this report, which is available on the net, which was given very limited distribution, not unsurprisingly, then set the date of this fictional case in the year 2025.
To cover conflict in the field, so I've covered several wars in Africa and Syria and other regions, so I can make a little bit, I would say, the comparison and the difference between theory and practice. Now I would like to go back to what has been said, and the title of this meeting, A Fair World, is possible or not? I would say that there has been a fair world for certain countries until now, and time is over. So new countries have taken the power, and I would say that the reaction of President Trump and the United States of America are a kind of last try, you know, when you're ready to die and you know that few time is left, so you try to do anything in order to still stay in the loop. And I think that there's no new system to build. The new world is working. We have great leaders in the world nowadays, not only in Turkey, but also in Africa, in China, in India, in Latin America, in non-Western countries. And these people have been until now, and I'm talking about the perspective of being in Geneva and being a former diplomat myself, so I know the two sides of the fence. And as the professor in Stockholm mentioned it before, humility was not the characteristic of Western countries, and a lot of the non-Western countries have had a lack of confidence.
Thank you so much, moderator. Actually, you know, many things that I would like to talk is said, but I would like to look to the issue from the perspective of international law. So before starting, I appreciate if you can, join me and share your ideas with me at the end of the panel. I'm deeply honored to take part in this high-level panel entitled Stratcom Public Forum's A Fairer World is Possible, organized by the Directorate of Communication of the Presidents of the Turkish Republic of Turkey. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude and respect to everyone who contributed to the realization of this event, particularly the Directorate of Communication and through our Ambassador, His Excellency Yönetmen Tezer, to our entire diplomatic mission. Thank you. In my speech today, I would like to elaborate specifically on the concept of legal equality. The notion of legal equality is often presented as one of the foundational principles of international system. In other words, the international order is built upon the principle of sovereign equality among states. This principle essentially suggests that states, by virtue of their sovereignty, are also entitled to equal legal standing. However, this formal equality does not imply material equality among states, of course. Yet, the real issue does not stem from material inequality. Rather, it lies in the revelation that the idea of legal equality itself is an illusion. Contrary to the prevailing narrative or mainstream narrative.
Yaratıcı, sanatın en üzgün yanıdır ve yaratmayı sınırsız ve özgür bırakmak gerekir ta çocukluktan başlayarak. Hayat hikayem Salihli'de başladı. Annem teyzemi görmeye gidiyor ve daha doğuma zaman var diye öyle bir telaş yok ama ben herhalde dünyayı çok